Staff doesn't enter here." The sentence landed before I even finished my step forward. Calm, polite, absolute. The security guard didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. He simply shifted his body half an inch, blocking the entrance, and pointed to the side corridor with 2 fingers, that narrow hallway where carts rolled quietly and people stopped making eye contact. Behind me, someone laughed, not loudly, just enough to be heard. I felt the room decide who I was in less than a second. Not a guest, not important, not someone worth checking twice. Just another woman who misunderstood her place. I held the envelope tighter, suddenly aware of how thin the paper felt in my hand. Then the door behind me closed. It wasn't dramatic, just a heavy, controlled sound, a single dry thud. Conversation inside the venue dipped for half a beat. Not silence, but something close. Enough to make my skin prickle. I turned slightly, confused, watching the gold-trimmed VIP doors seal shut as if they'd never been open at all. At the time, I didn't understand why that sound stayed with me. What none of them knew was that my name was already printed on the VIP list. What none of them knew was who had sent me that envelope. And what they definitely didn't know was what would happen when those same doors opened again, this time from the inside. Before I tell you what happened next, let me ask you something. Have you ever been judged before you spoke? Placed somewhere without being asked? If this moment feels familiar, stay with me, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I stood there longer than I should have. Not frozen, just delayed by that instinctive pause you get when your brain tries to correct reality. I looked down at the envelope again, then at the guard's hand still hovering near his belt. Relaxed, confident. He wasn't angry. He wasn't confused. That was the part that stung. This wasn't a misunderstanding. It was procedure. "Side entrance," he repeated, softer this time, like a favor. The corridor he pointed to was narrow and dimmer, lined with service doors and muted footsteps. A woman in a black uniform passed through it carrying a tray of glasses, eyes down, moving fast. The contrast was deliberate. Front door for visibility, side door for function. I knew that system. I'd lived inside it most of my life. I lifted the envelope slightly, just enough to make a point without insisting. "I'm a guest," I said. Calm, controlled. The way you speak when you don't want to give someone the satisfaction of watching you unravel. He glanced at the envelope for less than a second. Not long enough to read anything. Long enough to dismiss it. "This is a private event," he said, smiling faintly. "VIP access only." Behind him, through the glass, I could see chandeliers glowing and people drifting through the space like they belonged there by default. Laughter spilled out every time the door opened. Warm, careless, expensive. Someone behind me cleared their throat. Another person shifted impatiently. I felt the pressure of an audience forming, subtle but sharp. That's how these moments work. They become performances before you realize you're on stage. A man stepped closer. Late 40s, tailored suit, hair too perfect to be accidental. He didn't address the guard. He addressed me. "You'll want to use the staff entrance," he said pleasantly, as if offering directions to a restroom. "They're strict about standards here." Standards. The word landed heavier than the guard's hand ever could. I recognized the tone instantly. Polite cruelty wrapped in etiquette. The kind that lets people sleep at night. "I was invited," I said again, this time turning slightly so he could see the envelope more clearly. He smiled wider, finally amused. "Yes," he said, "I'm sure you were." Someone laughed. This time it wasn't subtle. It came from a woman just inside the doorway, glass of champagne frozen halfway to her lips. She didn't mean to be cruel. That almost made it worse. To her, I wasn't a person being humiliated. I was a minor inconvenience. A moment of entertainment before the evening continued. The man leaned in just enough for me to smell his cologne. "Don't make this awkward," he said quietly. "These events move quickly. You don't want to hold things up." I looked at him properly then. Really looked. That was when I noticed the pin on his lapel. Small, gold, a stylized emblem I recognized from my work. A private investment consortium that rarely put names on anything. They didn't need to. Their power operated quietly. At the time, I didn't know his name, but I remembered his face. I felt something tighten in my chest. Not panic, not shame, but calculation. The instinct you develop when you've learned that dignity isn't given. It's preserved. I understand, I said, and I meant it. I understood exactly how this was supposed to end. I turned toward the corridor. That's when the door behind me closed again. The same heavy sound, controlled, final. The thud echoed down the hallway just enough to draw my attention back for a split second. Not long enough for anyone else to notice. Long enough for me to feel it settle somewhere deep in my memory. As I walked toward the side entrance, I felt eyes on my back. Not sympathy. Assessment. The quiet relief people feel when the system works the way they expect it to. The corridor smelled faintly of cleaning solution and warm metal. A staff coordinator rushed past me, murmuring into an earpiece. No one looked at my face. They didn't need to. In this space, function replaced identity. A woman stopped me halfway down the hall. "Are you with catering or logistics?" she asked briskly. I hesitated. Just a fraction of a second too long. She nodded, satisfied. "You'll need a badge next time. Events like this get sensitive." Next time. I stepped through the service door and emerged outside, the city air colder than I expected. The contrast hit hard. Warmth and music on one side, concrete and exhaust on the other. I stood there for a moment, envelope still unopened in my hand. That was when I noticed something odd. The envelope hadn't been addressed the way most invitations are. No return logo, no decorative script, just my name. Printed cleanly, precisely, with a small symbol embossed in the corner, the same one from the man's lapel. I hadn't seen it earlier. Or maybe I had, and my brain hadn't connected it yet. I turned the envelope over. Across the back flap, barely visible unless the light hit it just right, was a single line of text. "Use the main entrance." I read it twice, then a third time. The sound of the door closing echoed again in my head, dry, controlled, unmistakable. And for the first time that night, I realized something was very wrong. I learned early how to move through places without leaving a mark, not because I wanted to be invisible, but because invisibility was efficient. It kept things simple. You didn't attract questions. You didn't invite scrutiny. You got where you needed to go and left before anyone decided you didn't belong there. That night, standing outside the service door with the envelope still warm in my hand, I felt that old instinct surface again. The one that said, "Don't draw attention. Don't challenge the system. Just adjust and keep moving." I folded the envelope carefully and slipped it into my bag. The bus stop was half a block away. I walked there on autopilot, heels clicking unevenly on the pavement, replaying the moment at the door in fragments. The guard's tone, the man's smile, the word standards. By the time the bus arrived, I had already begun doing what I always did, reframing it into something manageable. It wasn't personal, it was policy, it was optics. That's what I told myself as I tapped my card and took a seat near the back. The bus lurched forward, interior lights flickering as it pulled into traffic. I watched the reflection of my own face in the window, layered over storefronts and passing headlights. Neutral expression, controlled posture, no sign of what had just happened. I'd been practicing that face for years. I grew up on schedules and transfers, on memorizing routes and timing connections so precisely that being late felt like a moral failure. My mother used to say buses were honest. They didn't pretend to be comfortable. They just showed up when they said they would, or didn't. Either way, you learned to plan around them. She worked mornings at a clinic and evenings at a bakery. On weekends, she cleaned offices downtown. I learned early that dignity wasn't about the work itself. It was about how quietly you carried it. When I was 16, she taught me how to fold a bus ticket so it wouldn't tear in your pocket. "If you lose this," she said, "you don't get a second chance." That lesson stuck. By the time I was in my 20s, I had learned how to carry myself in rooms where I didn't belong, how to sit straight, how to speak just enough, how to dress in ways that didn't invite questions. Neutral colors, clean lines, nothing that looked like ambition. Ambition unsettles people who think the hierarchy is fixed. That night on the bus, my phone vibrated once. A message from my mother. "Did you make it there okay?" I stared at the screen longer than necessary. "Yes," I typed. "Everything's fine." The lie was automatic, not malicious, protective. She worried enough already. The bus rattled over a pothole, jolting me back into the present. 2 teenagers laughed loudly near the front. A man in a suit checked his watch with visible irritation. No one looked at me. That at least was familiar. I got off 3 stops later and walked the remaining blocks to my apartment. 3rd floor. No elevator. The hallway smelled faintly of detergent and old paint. I unlocked the door, dropped my bag on the chair, and stood there without moving. That's when I took the envelope out again. Under my kitchen light, the symbol in the corner was clearer. Minimal. Intentional. The kind of mark people use when they don't need branding. I turned it over once more, tracing the words with my thumb. Use the main entrance. It didn't make sense. Not with what had just happened. Unless... I stopped myself. Speculation was a luxury. Conclusions came later. I placed the envelope on the table and made tea, my movements precise, almost ritualistic. Kettle on, cup out, 1 spoon of honey. My body needed something familiar to anchor itself. As the water boiled, my mind drifted, not to the humiliation itself, but to other moments like it. Smaller, quieter, easier to dismiss. The internship where I was mistaken for an assistant, twice, and thanked for being so helpful after correcting a senior analyst's numbers. The networking event where someone handed me their empty glass without asking. The meeting where my idea was ignored until someone else repeated it louder. Each time I told myself it was temporary. That effort accumulated. That merit had a way of surfacing eventually. And in some ways it had. I'd built a reputation quietly. I handled things people didn't want their names attached to. Compliance checks, risk assessments, background reconciliations. I was precise, reliable, invisible. The kind of person systems relied on without acknowledging. The tea kettle clicked off. I poured slowly, careful not to spill. That was when my phone vibrated again. This time it wasn't my mother. Unknown number. I hesitated before answering. "Claire?" a woman's voice said, professional, measured. "Yes. This is Naomi. I work with event operations tonight. I just wanted to confirm. Did you receive the envelope?" I looked down at the table. "Yes," I said carefully. There was a pause, short but deliberate. "Good," she said. "Then everything is in order." I waited. She didn't elaborate. "I was told to make sure you weren't redirected," she added. "It happens sometimes." Redirected. The word landed differently than staff entrance. More technical. Less judgmental. "I was redirected," I said. Another pause. Longer this time. "I see," Naomi said. "Then we'll adjust." Before I could ask what that meant, the line went dead. I stood there with the phone still pressed to my ear, tea cooling beside me, the envelope between us like a question neither of us had answered. Outside, a car door slammed. Somewhere down the street, someone laughed. I picked up the envelope one last time and slid it back into my bag. Because suddenly, for the first time that night, I wasn't thinking about what I'd lost at the door. I was thinking about why someone had expected me to be inside. By the time I entered the venue again the next afternoon, the building felt different. Not louder, not quieter, sharper. The same marble floors. The same glass walls catching the light at calculated angles. But now I noticed the invisible choreography. Who stopped walking when someone important passed. Who waited half a second too long before speaking. Who smiled first, and who never had to. I wasn't early. I was expected. Naomi met me near the registration desk, her posture perfectly neutral, tablet tucked under her arm like an extension of her body. She didn't smile when she saw me, but she didn't look surprised either. "This way," she said, already turning. We didn't use the hallway from the night before. We passed it. As we walked, I noticed how carefully the space separated people. Guests clustered near the windows. Sponsors gravitated toward the bar. Staff moved along the edges, efficient and quiet, never stopping long enough to become visible. Hierarchy wasn't announced here. It was enforced by movement. Naomi led me into a side lounge where the noise dropped instantly. 2 men sat at a low table, their conversation ending the moment we entered. One glanced up, then away, the polite dismissal reserved for people who weren't relevant. But the other man looked at me longer than necessary. Not openly, measured. He wore no visible branding, no watch worth naming. His suit fit perfectly, but not memorably. The kind of restraint that only came from not needing recognition. He didn't smile. He didn't frown. He simply nodded once. Naomi paused. "Claire," she said, just loud enough. "You can wait here." The man didn't ask who I was. He didn't ask why I was there. That unsettled me more than the guard from the night before. When Naomi left, the silence thickened. I took a seat across from the men, placing my bag beside me. The envelope was still inside. I could feel its edges against my knee. The man who'd been watching finally spoke. "You're not usually in this room," he said. It wasn't a question. "No," I replied. He studied my face for a beat longer, then shifted his attention back to the table. The conversation resumed without me, as if my presence had already been catalogued and filed away. That was the first lesson the elite world teaches you. Exclusion doesn't require cruelty, just indifference. I waited there for 20 minutes, long enough to notice patterns. People entered in pairs or small groups. No one arrived alone unless they were already powerful. Names opened doors faster than credentials. Naomi reappeared twice, each time glancing at me briefly, as if checking an equation that hadn't resolved yet. When she finally returned, she gestured again. "Follow me." This time we went upstairs. The staircase curved subtly, leading to a mezzanine overlooking the main hall. From above, the event looked less impressive, less grand, like a carefully staged set. Naomi stopped in front of a frosted glass door. "He's inside," she said. I waited for clarification. It didn't come. Inside the room, the air felt cooler, controlled. A single desk, 2 chairs, no art on the walls, no personal items. It looked like a space designed for decisions, not comfort. The man from downstairs stood near the window, hands loosely folded behind his back. "Claire," he said, testing the name. "Yes." "Sit." I did. He didn't ask about the incident at the door. He didn't mention the guard. He didn't apologize. Instead, he asked one question. "Why didn't you argue?" I blinked. "About what?" "Last night," he said calmly, "when you were redirected." Redirected again. I chose my words carefully. Arguing wouldn't have changed the outcome. He tilted his head slightly. "And yet you came back." "Yes." "Why?" I held his gaze. "Because someone expected me to." That was the moment his expression shifted. Not surprise, recognition. He nodded once, slowly. "People who belong here," he said, "usually confuse access with entitlement." He moved back to the desk and opened a folder. "I wanted to see how you'd respond." "To what?" "To being misclassified." My throat tightened. "And?" I asked. He closed the folder without answering. Instead, he slid a card across the desk. On it, a single line. "Use the main entrance," printed in the same minimalist typeface as the envelope. No logo, no explanation. "Tonight," he said, 7 sharp. I picked up the card, the weight of it heavier than paper should be. "Will there be another guard?" I asked. He allowed himself the faintest smile. "That," he said, "depends on what Grant decides to do." I stood, card still in my hand, heart beating faster than I wanted it to. As Naomi opened the door for me, I glanced back once. The man was already looking out the window again, the city reflected faintly in the glass behind him. Only later would I understand what that meant. I left the building without taking the stairs. Naomi pressed a button beside the frosted door, and a private elevator slid open without a sound. No mirrors, no music, just a soft hum as it descended. She stood beside me, eyes forward, tablet against her chest. "You'll enter through the main doors tonight," she said, as if reading a calendar reminder. "Security has been updated." I didn't ask what that meant. When the doors opened, the lobby was nearly empty. Afternoon light spilled through the glass facade, washing the marble in pale gold. For a moment, the space looked harmless, almost ordinary. Naomi stopped near the exit. "Claire," she said, finally turning to me, "whatever happens tonight, don't react." "To what?" I asked. She hesitated, just a fraction too long. "To recognition," she said. Then she handed me a badge. Not laminated, not decorative. Metal, heavy, cool in my palm. VIP access, clearance level A, no name printed. No explanation. I slipped it into my bag next to the envelope. 2 objects, same weight, different consequences. Outside, the city noise hit me all at once. Cars, voices, movement, life continuing, unaware that something subtle had shifted. I didn't go home. Instead, I walked, block after block, replaying the conversation upstairs. The way he'd asked questions without leaning forward. The way he'd watched without filling the silence. The way he'd tested me without telling me I was being tested. Daniel Kerr hadn't offered help. He had offered observation. That unsettled me more than a promise ever could. By early evening, my phone vibrated. Unknown number. Main entrance confirmed. 7 p.m. Don't be late. No signature. No emoji. No reassurance. I stood on the sidewalk, staring at the screen longer than necessary. Around me, people rushed past, unaware that a door, literal or otherwise, was about to open. And somewhere inside that building, Grant Wexler was preparing for an evening where nothing would go wrong. That's what people like him always believe. I arrived near the venue just before 7. Not inside, across the street. From there, I could see everything. The valet line already stretched halfway down the block. Luxury sedans idled in perfect alignment. Guests stepped out smoothly, laughter rehearsed, posture impeccable. And then I saw him. Grant stood near the entrance, jacket perfectly tailored, greeting donors with practiced warmth. His smile appeared on cue and vanished just as quickly. He shook hands, nodded, redirected. Controlling access, controlling narrative, the same man who had pointed me toward the side door now stood less than 20 feet from the main entrance, deciding who belonged. I reached into my bag. My fingers brushed the envelope. Then the badge. 2 reminders of why I was here. Across the street, the pedestrian signal changed. The crowd thinned for a moment. I stepped off the curb. As I crossed, Grant glanced up. Just briefly. Our eyes met. His smile faltered. Not fully, but enough. Recognition flickered. Not of me as a person. Of me as a variable he hadn't accounted for. He looked away too quickly. I stopped just short of the curb on his side of the street. The main doors loomed ahead. Tall, heavy, framed in gold. The same doors I'd watched close with that dry, final sound days earlier. For a moment I didn't move. I listened. The murmur of voices. The faint clink of glass. The controlled rhythm of an event running exactly as planned. Then I reached into my bag and took out the badge. The doors didn't open right away. That was the second thing I noticed. The first was the sound. That same dry, unmistakable sound I'd heard days earlier. Heavy metal sealing against frame. Echoed in my head as I stood there. The memory of it. The certainty of it. The way it had cut the air and ended the conversation without a single word. Grant noticed me then. Not fully. Not consciously. Just enough to feel something was wrong. He paused mid-sentence with a donor, eyes narrowing slightly as they landed on me. His smile stayed in place, but the muscles beneath it tightened. He took a step toward the entrance, positioning himself between me and the door like instinct. I didn't look at him. I reached into my bag. The badge felt heavier than it had earlier. When I held it up, the security guard at the door reacted immediately. Not with surprise, but with recognition. He straightened, stepped aside, and without a word, placed his hand on the door handle. Grant turned fully now. "Excuse me," he said, voice polite, edged with authority. "This entrance is—" The door opened. Slowly, deliberately, not the sharp, dismissive closure from before. This time the sound was different. A deep, controlled opening. Heavy hinges moving with purpose. A sound that carried. The music inside didn't stop. But conversations did. Not all at once. One by one. like candles being blown out across the room. I stepped forward. The guard didn't announce me. He didn't ask my name. He didn't hesitate. He simply held the door. As I crossed the threshold, I felt it. The shift. The recalibration. The invisible moment where the room stopped deciding who I was and started trying to understand why they were wrong. The chandelier above reflected off polished floors and crystal glasses. People stood frozen mid-motion, champagne glasses hovering inches from lips. Laughter stalled halfway through a breath. Someone whispered, "Who is that?" Someone else answered too quickly, "I don't know." And in rooms like this, not knowing is dangerous. Grant followed me inside, not beside me. Behind, I didn't turn. I walked at the same pace I always had. Calm, measured, unhurried. And then I saw him. Daniel Kerr stood near the far side of the room, hands loosely folded behind his back, posture relaxed in a way that only comes from absolute certainty. He wasn't watching me. He was watching the room react to me. When our eyes met, he didn't smile. He nodded once. That was all. No introduction, no escort, no performance. But the effect was immediate. People noticed him noticing me. A ripple passed through the crowd. Subtle but unmistakable. Phones lowered, voices softened. Someone stepped aside without realizing they'd moved. Grant stopped walking. I felt it before I saw it. The absence of his presence behind me. He stood near the entrance, eyes darting now. From Daniel, to me, to the security team that had subtly repositioned themselves along the walls. For the first time, Grant wasn't hosting. He was calculating. A woman brushed past me, murmuring an apology that came too late to matter. Another guest smiled at me, tentative, rehearsed, already rewriting the past. I didn't respond. Daniel finally moved, not toward me, toward the center of the room. He spoke quietly to the host. No gestures, no raised voice, just a sentence delivered with calm precision. The host's expression changed. Then he turned and looked directly at me. "Claire," he said clearly, not loudly, clearly. "We're glad you could join us." The name landed. Harder than any announcement. Grant flinched. Not visibly, but I saw it. Because that name hadn't been spoken inside this room before. And it shouldn't have been. I felt the envelope press against my side inside the bag. The badge warm in my palm. 2 objects. 1 truth. And suddenly, the room understood something important. I hadn't walked through the VIP doors by accident. Capítulo 5, The Luxury Arrival. The doors didn't open right away. That was the second thing I noticed. The first was the sound. That same dry, unmistakable sound I'd heard days earlier. Heavy metal sealing against frame. Echoed in my head as I stood there. The memory of it. The certainty of it. The way it had cut the air and ended the conversation without a single word. Grant noticed me then. Not fully, not consciously, just enough to feel something was wrong. He paused mid-sentence with a donor, eyes narrowing slightly as they landed on me. His smile stayed in place, but the muscles beneath it tightened. He took a step toward the entrance, positioning himself between me and the door like instinct. I didn't look at him. I reached into my bag. The badge felt heavier than it had earlier. When I held it up, the security guard at the door reacted immediately. Not with surprise, but with recognition. He straightened, stepped aside, and without a word, placed his hand on the door handle. Grant turned fully now. "Excuse me," he said, voice polite, edged with authority. "This entrance is—" The door opened. Slowly, deliberately. Not the sharp, dismissive closure from before. This time the sound was different. A deep, controlled opening. Heavy hinges moving with purpose. A sound that carried. The music inside didn't stop. But conversations did. Not all at once. One by one, like candles being blown out across the room. I stepped forward. The guard didn't announce me. He didn't ask my name. He didn't hesitate. He simply held the door. As I crossed the threshold, I felt it. The shift. The recalibration. The invisible moment where the room stopped deciding who I was and started trying to understand why they were wrong. The chandelier above reflected off polished floors and crystal glasses. People stood frozen mid-motion, champagne glasses hovering inches from lips. Laughter stalled halfway through a breath. Someone whispered, "Who is that?" Someone else answered too quickly, "I don't know." And in rooms like this, not knowing is dangerous. Grant followed me inside, not beside me. Behind, I didn't turn. I walked at the same pace I always had. Calm, measured, unhurried. And then I saw him. Daniel Kerr stood near the far side of the room, hands loosely folded behind his back, posture relaxed in a way that only comes from absolute certainty. He wasn't watching me. He was watching the room react to me. When our eyes met, he didn't smile. He nodded once. That was all. No introduction, no escort, no performance. But the effect was immediate. People noticed him noticing me. A ripple passed through the crowd. Subtle but unmistakable. Phones lowered, voices softened. Someone stepped aside without realizing they'd moved. Grant stopped walking. I felt it before I saw it. The absence of his presence behind me. He stood near the entrance, eyes darting now. From Daniel, to me, to the security team that had subtly repositioned themselves along the walls. For the first time, Grant wasn't hosting. He was calculating. A woman brushed past me, murmuring an apology that came too late to matter. Another guest smiled at me, tentative, rehearsed, already rewriting the past. I didn't respond. Daniel finally moved, not toward me, toward the center of the room. He spoke quietly to the host. No gestures, no raised voice, just a sentence delivered with calm precision. The host's expression changed. Then he turned and looked directly at me. "Claire," he said clearly, not loudly, clearly. "We're glad you could join us." The name landed. Harder than any announcement. Grant flinched. Not visibly, but I saw it. Because that name hadn't been spoken inside this room before. And it shouldn't have been. I felt the envelope press against my side inside the bag. The badge warm in my palm. 2 objects. 1 truth. And suddenly, the room understood something important. I hadn't walked through the VIP doors by accident. The room didn't recover. It adjusted. That was worse. People didn't rush toward me. They didn't confront Daniel. No one demanded explanations. Instead, the space began to reorganize itself quietly, instinctively, like a body responding to pain. Chairs shifted. Clusters reformed. The invisible map of importance was being redrawn in real time. I felt it in the way conversations curved around me instead of past me, in the way waitstaff slowed when they approached, suddenly careful not to interrupt, in the way a woman who had ignored me earlier now angled her body just enough to be seen standing nearby. Grant tried to laugh. It came out half a second too late. "Claire," he said, stepping closer. Voice warm now, familiar in a way that made my skin tighten. "I didn't realize you were attending tonight. I would have..." He stopped. Because Daniel had turned. Not sharply, not dramatically, just enough. Grant caught the movement and froze mid-sentence, like a child who realizes an adult is watching. Daniel didn't speak to him. He looked at Grant the way someone looks at a detail that doesn't fit. Not threatening, not impressed, just evaluating. Grant swallowed. "I was just saying," Grant continued, redirecting his smile. "We try to keep standards consistent at events like this. You understand." Standards. The word landed wrong. I saw Naomi across the room then. She stood near the side corridor, clipboard pressed to her chest, eyes fixed on us. Her posture was stiff, alert. She wasn't surprised by my presence. She was surprised by Grant's reaction to it. That mattered. A man near the bar leaned toward his companion and whispered something I didn't catch. She responded with a sharp inhale and a glance at Daniel that lasted a fraction too long to be casual. Someone else said my name again. Quietly, testing how it sounded. Daniel finally spoke. Not to Grant, to the host. "I'll take Claire with me," he said calmly. "There are people here who need to meet her." No explanation, no justification, just a statement of fact. The host nodded immediately, relief flickering across his face as if a complex problem had just been solved for him. "Of course," he said, "right this way." Grant's smile faltered. "Daniel," he interjected, trying to sound relaxed. "Before you go, there's a small misunderstanding I'd like to clear up." Daniel didn't stop walking. That was the moment Grant lost the room. Not loudly. Not publicly.
But completely.
People watched it happen. I saw it in their eyes. Recognition. Calculation. The quiet thrill of watching status collapse without spectacle. As Daniel and I moved through the crowd, conversations thinned behind us. The space around Grant widened like an involuntary recoil. Naomi stepped aside as we passed. Her eyes met mine briefly. There was something there now. Not confusion, not judgment, understanding, and something else. Concern. Daniel led me toward a quieter section near the back. Not secluded, just removed enough to be intentional. He spoke without looking at me. "You handled that well," he said. It wasn't praise. It was acknowledgement. I nodded once. "I didn't do anything," I replied. "That's exactly why it worked," he said. Across the room, Grant stood alone now, pretending to check his phone while watching us from the corner of his eye. His shoulders were tense, his jaw set too tightly. He was thinking, planning, trying to understand how much I knew. And that's when I felt it again. The envelope, still sealed, still unnoticed, still heavy with consequences. I hadn't opened it yet, but Grant was already afraid of what it might contain. The envelope didn't open loudly. That was the most unsettling part. Daniel didn't tear it, didn't dramatize the moment. He simply slid one finger beneath the seal and lifted the flap with a controlled motion, as if opening something he already expected to find. We stood near a narrow table set against the wall, just beyond the densest part of the room. From a distance, it probably looked like a quiet conversation between two professionals. Up close, it felt surgical. Daniel removed the documents one by one, scanning them without changing his expression. His eyes moved quickly, efficiently, the way people read when they already know what matters. Naomi approached us then, not hurried, not hesitant. She stopped just close enough to hear. "Is this about the Wexler acquisition?" she asked carefully. Grant's name hadn't been said yet, but it was already in the air. Daniel looked up at her for the first time. "Yes," he said, "and the compliance gap." Naomi's lips pressed together. "That was flagged internally," she said, "weeks ago." I watched Daniel's jaw tighten, not in anger, but in confirmation. "So it wasn't an oversight," he said. Naomi shook her head once. "No, it was deferred." Deferred. Another word that landed wrong. I felt eyes drifting toward us now. Not openly. Side glances. People pretending to refill glasses that weren't empty. The room sensed movement before it understood meaning. Daniel turned a page. Then another. "This signature," he said calmly, tapping the paper, "authorizes a temporary bypass." Naomi leaned in slightly. "That authorization shouldn't exist." "But it does," Daniel replied. And then he said the name, Grant Wexler. The sound of it traveled faster than I expected. Not shouted. Not announced. Spoken at a normal volume. And yet several conversations nearby stopped at once. Naomi exhaled slowly. "He insisted it was urgent," she said. "That delaying would cost the firm credibility." Daniel folded the papers neatly and slid them back into the envelope. "No," he said. "Delaying would have exposed it." Naomi nodded, already understanding the implication. "This goes to the board," she said, "immediately." Daniel met her eyes. "Tonight," he corrected. That was when Grant moved. He crossed the room with purpose now, no longer pretending not to watch. His smile was gone, replaced by something tighter, controlled. "Daniel," he said, forcing warmth back into his voice. "If there's a concern, I'd prefer to address it privately." Daniel turned to face him fully. This time the room leaned in. "There is a concern," Daniel said evenly. "And it's already documented." Grant's gaze flicked, just once, to the envelope in Daniel's hand. Then to me. For the first time that night, he looked afraid. "I don't know what you think you have," Grant said carefully. "But there are processes, channels. This isn't the place." Daniel raised a single finger. Grant stopped speaking. Naomi stepped forward. "The compliance committee has been notified," she said. "They're waiting." Grant's breath caught. That was the moment the room understood. Not everything, but enough. Phones appeared in hands. Eyes widened. Someone whispered, "Is this about the acquisition?" Another voice replied too quickly, It can't be. Grant tried to recover. Claire, he said suddenly, turning to me, voice softening into something almost pleading. This is a misunderstanding. You know how these things get complicated. I met his gaze. I know, I said quietly, and for the first time it was true. Grant looked between Daniel and Naomi, recalculating, searching for leverage, for an exit. There wasn't one. Daniel handed the envelope to Naomi. Please, he said, make sure this is logged. She took it with both hands. Like evidence. Grant stepped back. And in that single step, he lost more than authority. He lost protection. The collapse didn't announce itself. It unfolded. Grant didn't leave the room immediately. That would have drawn attention. Instead, he stood exactly where he was, shoulders squared, face carefully neutral, as if nothing had changed. But everything had. People stopped approaching him. Not abruptly. Strategically. A man who had been mid-conversation with Grant moments earlier drifted away under the pretense of greeting someone else. A woman adjusted her stance, subtly turning her back. Laughter that once clustered around him redistributed itself elsewhere. Grant noticed. I could tell by the way his jaw tightened, then released. The way his eyes tracked movement now, not people. He tried once more. He approached the host, the same one who had earlier nodded eagerly at Daniel's instructions. I think there's been a misunderstanding, Grant said, lowering his voice. I should clarify before this turns into something unnecessary. The host didn't meet his eyes. I'm afraid that's out of my hands now, he replied politely. Compliance has requested full cooperation. Requested. Grant's lips parted slightly, then closed. Across the room, Naomi was already speaking with 2 board members, documents in hand. They listened without interruption. One of them nodded slowly, the kind of nod that ends conversations rather than begins them. Grant took out his phone. Typed, paused, deleted, typed again. Nothing came back. I watched as he checked his email, then refreshed it twice in quick succession. His posture shifted, no longer relaxed, no longer authoritative. Just alert, defensive. A security supervisor approached him quietly. No raised voices, no confrontation. Just a brief exchange, a nod, a gesture toward a side corridor. The same corridor, the one he had pointed me toward earlier. Grant hesitated, long enough for people to notice. Then he followed. The room exhaled. Not audibly, but socially. Conversations resumed, cautiously at first, then with increasing confidence. Laughter returned in patches, though its tone had changed. Lower, more controlled. Daniel didn't watch Grant leave. He turned to me instead. This part always looks quieter than it feels, he said. I nodded. Naomi returned a moment later. Her expression was composed, but there was tension beneath it now. He's been asked to step down pending review, she said calmly, effective immediately. Step down. Not accused, not arrested, but removed, which in this world was worse. His access has been suspended, she added, including board communications. Daniel acknowledged this with a brief nod. That will be enough for tonight, he said. Naomi hesitated. There's one more thing, she said. The acquisition, it won't proceed. Daniel looked at her. And the exposure? Naomi met his gaze. Contained. Daniel turned to me. It's done, he said. I believed him. As we prepared to leave, I noticed something else. Grant's name had disappeared from the digital welcome board near the entrance. Not crossed out, not flagged, just gone, like he had never belonged there at all. The shift didn't happen overnight. It happened the next morning. I woke to my phone vibrating on the nightstand, not with calls, but emails. Subject lines stacked one after another, each more precise than the last. Requests, confirmations, invitations that didn't explain themselves. I sat up slowly, reading. Access approved. Please advise your availability. Looking forward to continuing the conversation. No exclamation points. No flattery. Just doors opening. I arrived at the office later than usual, deliberately. For years, I had trained myself to arrive early, to prove readiness before being asked. That morning, I didn't rush. When I stepped inside, the atmosphere was different. Not louder, sharper. People looked up when I entered, not to assess, but to orient themselves. Naomi was already there, seated at the conference table, her tablet open. "They've confirmed," she said. "Full clearance." "For everything?" I asked. She nodded. "And the board?" She hesitated for half a second. "They'd like to meet, today." I smiled faintly. "Tell them I'll review the agenda first." Her eyebrows lifted, just slightly. "Of course," she said. "The meeting didn't take place in a boardroom. It took place in my office. I chose that deliberately." One by one they arrived. The same people who had once decided where I should enter now waited to be invited in. I watched them through the glass wall as Naomi checked names against a list. Not everyone was on it. One man paused, confused. "I was told—" Naomi didn't look up. "You're not scheduled." He glanced toward my door. It didn't open. Inside, the conversation was efficient. No apologies. No revisionist history. Just alignment. They spoke about next steps, about optics, about continuity. I listened. Then I spoke. "We proceed carefully," I said. "No public statements until compliance concludes." They nodded. "And access?" one of them asked. I leaned back. "That's handled." When the meeting ended, they stood first. I remained seated. Later that afternoon, Daniel stopped by. He didn't sit. He didn't stay long. "Looks like the room adjusted," he said. "It always does," I replied. He smiled briefly. As he turned to leave, he paused at the door. "They won't forget this," he said. "I don't need them to," I answered. That evening, as the building emptied, I walked the corridor alone. The same corridor that once felt narrow, now felt irrelevant. At the end of it stood a door. Heavy. Familiar. I placed my hand on the handle. It didn't resist. I didn't go back to that venue for weeks, not because I was avoiding it, because I didn't need to. Places like that only matter when you're trying to enter them. Once you stop asking for permission, they lose their weight. Still, one evening, long after the noise had settled and the whispers had found new targets, I found myself standing across the street again. The building looked smaller. Same stone, same glass, same lights behind tall windows. But something had shifted. I crossed the street slowly, the sound of my steps steady against the pavement. No invitation in my hand this time. No envelope to explain me. No proof to offer. At the entrance, the security guard glanced up, then straightened. "Good evening, Miss Carter." He stepped aside before I reached the door. No hesitation. No question. Inside, the space breathed differently. Conversations flowed, but none of them swallowed the room. People moved with intention, not entitlement. I noticed how quickly eyes adjusted when I passed. Not scanning, not sorting, just acknowledging. Naomi met me near the hall. "They're waiting," she said. "Who?" I asked. She smiled. "Everyone." The doors ahead were open. Not dramatically, just open. As I walked through, I remembered the sound from before. That sharp, final click. The one that had told me who I was allowed to be. The one that had closed behind me while laughter filled the space I wasn't meant to occupy. That sound didn't exist anymore. Now there was only motion. I moved through the room, past faces that once blurred me into the background. Some smiled too carefully. Others looked away, busy with their glasses, their phones, their sudden humility. Grant wasn't there. I noticed that without searching. He had become absence, the kind that speaks louder than presence ever did. A woman approached me, someone I recognized only vaguely. "We'd love your input on the next event," she said. "Your perspective." I nodded. "We'll see," I replied. She waited, as if expecting more. I gave none. Later, as the evening softened into something quieter, Daniel joined me near the windows. He stood beside me, hands relaxed, gaze outward. "You know," he said, "most people think power announces itself." I smiled. "It doesn't need to." He glanced at me, then back at the room. "They'll follow whatever door opens easiest," he said. "Yes," I answered, "until it stops opening." We didn't stay long. I left when I wanted to. At the entrance, I paused for just a moment. Not to look back, but to listen. The door closed behind me. The sound was different now. Slower, controlled, intentional, not a rejection, a decision. I stepped outside, the city air cool against my skin. Somewhere behind me, inside walls that once defined my limits, conversations continued without me. And that was the point. They had treated me like the help because it made their world feel stable, predictable, safe. They believed status always entered the same way, wore the same uniform, knew the same codes. They were wrong. I didn't change who I was. I changed where I stood. And once you understand that, truly understand it, doors stop being barriers. They become signals. Now every door knows my name. If you're still here, it's because you felt this too. Because somewhere along the way, someone decided who you were before you spoke. They pointed you toward a side entrance and called it order. If this story stayed with you, tap the like button. Not for the algorithm, but for the ones who need to hear it. Subscribe if you believe quiet competence outlasts loud status. And before you go, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. These stories travel farther than we think. Sometimes all it takes is one door opening, and the courage to walk through it.